Hello and welcome to another check-in from Burnout Central here at the Irish Pagan School. I'm here in the office today finishing up our 90-day challenge that we started for the Irish Pagan School YouTube channel. We started on the 1st of January, myself and John, and we have done a day each for 90 days. So 45 videos later, I've just recorded my final one, which will go up on Wednesday, the 30th of March, and I've done like a public service announcement about not taking on any new projects, but I find, as usual, as I come to the end of this project, never mind, nothing happened. As I come to the end of this project, I find myself, as usual, my brain is scrambling for what's next and what I'm going to do next and what I can do and what the business needs and what my community needs and all that stuff. So I'm having serious problems just understanding that my workload for the rest of this year consists of thesis preparation, finishing my seminars and my assignments for my master's program this year. So finishing up through April, we'll be finished that. And then come May, I will be starting on all of my literature review for my thesis reading over the summer. And then when we get back into, late August, early September, we've got one semester, I think, to do in year 2 of our thesis program. And then we will be just writing the thesis then for the rest of the year. So that's all exciting. So by the end of 2022, I will be finished all of my college work and assignments and learning and all that stuff, and just in thesis mode, which will be due in May 2023. So that's all in front of me, and that is a heavy piece of work, a heavy piece of work. My thesis, for anybody who's not familiar already, my thesis has been accepted, and it will be, I'm not going to give you the exact specifics, but it'll be on the fairy faith in Ireland. So exciting new research and all that good stuff. So that is all very exciting and very much something that I am... When working through burnout, one of the problems is that the work that I have always been excited to do and loved doing has just died inside me, that there is no passion, there's no joy, there's no anything. And taking on the master's program in September, while it looked like, taking on more work in an already burnt out state, it was something that I was able to look forward to doing that was different enough from my usual workload, but exciting and stimulating enough for my passion for Irish history, that it was actually very good. I thought that it would be, and I'm really glad it's worked out that way, but it's actually really good. Even though it's really hard, it's really good, and it's not leaving a lot of space for anything else. So the only other projects work-wise that I've committed to are running our intensives. So we will have the Mórrígan 6-month intensive, and I will be overseeing that. But there's no direct teaching there. There's interaction, obviously, but a lot of that is work that I've already done, and I will have to do a weekly input there and interact with students and all the rest of it, and the setting up and everything. It's not that there's no work involved, but it's not putting out fresh content every week like it used to be. And the same then for the OM journeys, depending on what position I'll be in. So for the Mórrígan intensive, that will... Make sure you're on the mailing list at loraobrien.ie or the irishpaganschool.com, because we will be doing a load of free content through April and May on the Mórrígan. around the Mórrígan, learning about the Mórrígan. So that's free community content. So all of that is in front of me for a start. As we prepare and move in at the end of May, we actually start the intensive. So that's 6 months of work there. And then there's a little bit of crossover then, because in October, we do very similar for the OM Journeys intensive. So that's another more or less 6 months of weekly content as well. So I have to do those. And I have to do my guided meditation journey membership, which you can find at the guided meditation membership, which is at the irishpaganschool.com. And that project has been taken all the journeys all the journey content, all the journey materials that I have recorded since I started in 2011, but I started actually teaching in this format in 2016. So my journey technique in this format in 2016. So there's a lot of content. Some of it needs updating and upgrading, but mostly it just needs cataloging, sorting out into various topics, sorting it by level 1, level 2, and making sure that it's all in order and accessible. So for the low price of $7.99 per month, that's euros, you can access all of that guided meditation and guided journeying content. And that's been updated. There's between 2 and 4 extra ones being added in every month. So I'm making sure to stay on top of that. And that's really satisfying, actually, because the content was all over the place. It was on my Patreon. It was on various kind of podcasts that I used to do. It was on all sorts of stuff. So I really wanted to gather it all together and make sure it's all in a format and at a quality that I can just use as a baseline and then improve over time and add to, obviously, because I do really enjoy that work. So that's something that I'm actively creating content for. And then other than that, I have set myself a mission to get all of our books in order. So there's some, like A Practical Guide to Pagan Priesthood, which is with Llewellyn. That's the only one that we have out of our control currently. So that's in every shop and selling quite well, by all accounts. So I'm really pleased with that. And everything else we have gotten the rights back for. So some of it was traditionally published and some of it was self-published or published with small Irish presses. So we've gotten the rights back for everything else. So I would really like to get all of those books organized and get them available on Amazon, but most of them are on Amazon now. I think there's Practical Guide to Irish Spirituality that's out of print currently. So I want to get that one back in print, probably a second edition, and get the rest of them then published in other formats as well, so that they're available in other outlets, not just Amazon. So that is definitely on my project list for this year as well. So apart from that, what I'm doing is my weekly, obviously my academic study and project work and all that, but also the background, the day-to-day stuff, and this 90-day challenge. And so I find myself at the end of it, and I'm kind of in a similar position that I was with the guided meditation content, that we have so much content, myself and John have so much content that is kind of all over the place. And I was wondering about putting together a podcast that just kind of gathers, collates, and kind of standardizes all of that content into some kind of Irish Pagan School podcast. So I don't know. I'm looking into that at the moment. Comment below if you think that would be a good idea or a bad idea, given burnout levels. John is very much on the fence about it, I have to say. He does not want me taking anything else on. And there was a whole other thing I wanted to do. I want to do a podcast that kind of tracks my thesis and possible PhD journey in the future. So I think that one has actually been vetoed, unfortunately. I would personally love to do that, but just work-wise, that would be creating a whole load of fresh content on, a weekly or a couple of times a week basis. And I just have not got that in me at the moment. So that definitely counts as a new project. And I'm kind of maybe getting away with, even though technically a new podcast would be a new project, it's not creating any new content. So might get away with that. Yeah. Let me know if you think that's a good idea or a bad idea in the comments below. So that's where I'm at currently. And I just made like a PSA there on the social media about not taking on any new projects. So I've already had my good friend Courtney Weber, send me an email saying, so I wanted to interview you for my new book, and I won't be now. And I just wanted you to know that it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I'm respecting your boundaries. And I'm like, oh, but the FOMO is real. It's so real. And, I'm not going to be available to do any tour guiding or hand fastings or, interviews or any of that stuff, because I am just not saying yes to anything that other people are asking me to do. And that has come very clear, or other people even need me to do. I just have not got it. You cannot draw from an empty well. And burnout recovery is taking a fucking hell of a long time. I first really crashed last summer. And I crashed because I did no gardening last year. None. I didn't look at my garden in any way, shape, or form. And again, back to, a symptom of burnout, like when there's something that you love so much and it gives you so much joy and pleasure and peace, really peace, every single year. When you can't even do that, that things are really, really bad. So I got really low last summer, and that's when I started realizing that that's what I was experiencing, was burnout. I think I maybe kind of was paying it lip service before, but I started actually looking into it, what it was, how it affected people, its severity, the recovery time. I was thinking, I'll take a month or two and I'll be fine. Spoiler alert, I was not fine. And so there's so much that I've had to step back from, and so much that I want to be doing that I'm just physically, mentally not capable of doing currently. So so that's where we're at. I just wanted to give you a brief update, and thank you for everyone who's still sticking around this channel, even though the content has gone. And I appreciate your interest in me since I gave the 2022 update. I'm surprised I didn't just lose every subscriber on the channel. So that's posted above if you want to go back and look at that. But I did promise you health updates and academic updates. So I'm going to tip in whenever I can and just keep giving those and keep the channel tipping along. But all of our pagan content, whatever videos we're making, once we finish our 90-day challenge, which I'm finished now officially, I suppose, since how I recorded my last video, we have agreed that we're going to do weekly videos for the Irish Pagan School YouTube channel. And we're going to do weekly videos for the Patreon, the Irish Pagan School Patreon. So you can find that, you can just search Irish Pagan School and Patreon, and the same then for the YouTube channel, you'll find those. And that's where you'll find us kind of live. And of course, John is doing his classes on the last Sunday of every month. John is doing his teaching. So if you go over to the irishpaganschool.com and you sign up to the mailing list there, you will find you'll get emails about all of that, and so many resources that are being created, or stuff that we find, or just topical stuff or relevant stuff, and just little updates and all of that good stuff. So make sure that you stay connected to us through the mailing list, because that's where, if I'm writing anything fresh, that's where it's going currently. So again, thank you for your support. Thank you for everybody who is encouraging me to rest. That is far more valuable than you may know, because there's a lot of guilt and shame that has been raised for me in being unproductive, but bunny ears, unproductive, but also in letting people down. So I don't like the idea of letting people down. And I have been in a position of community leadership and service, which is what community leadership should be. It's a job. And priesthood, likewise, also a job description. I've been there for a lot of years, and you know, when you're doing something for 20 years and you're making yourself available to people as they want and need you for over 2 decades, it gets very difficult to actually step back from that. So having your support and your feedback on this kind of stuff is very valuable, and I really appreciate it. So Gur Mahagwif and Slán go fóill. I will see you in the next video.